So in landscape photography, there's no worse feeling than thinking you got the photo right in the field only to come back and be like, what happened to the photo? This color is all wrong. Now, I've made my fair share of those mistakes too, and it's all because of white balance. But in 12 years of being a professional photographer, I've learned how to use white balance best for the landscape. In this video, we're gonna be discussing what is white balance and how to use it best for your photography so you don't experience that frustrated feeling anymore. My name's David Johnston, and I love to help you with problems like that on this channel. So what is white balance anyways? White balance is basically your camera selecting what colors to push based on the scene. So what does that even mean? If I hold up this white sheet of paper, you can obviously see that it's a white sheet of paper. That's because our eyes are able to adjust to surrounding light and still decipher this as white because of the wavelengths that are being pushed off of it. Our eyes have the ability to adjust that. But if you change lighting situations around that piece of paper, it can reflect blue, it can reflect yellow and orange and red, purple, all kinds of colors. So your camera isn't able to decipher the wavelengths like our eyes can. That's why white balance exists on the camera. So if I have this piece of paper in a shady setting or a cloudy setting in the landscape, it's going to look a lot more blue. If I have this piece of paper in a bright sunny day, it's gonna look a lot more yellow or orange. In landscape photography, if you're in a shady situation or if you're on a cloudy day, you can select those two settings and a once blue looking situation is going to be pushed into a more yellow or orange or warmer situation because of the white balance setting on your camera. So select shady or cloudy in those situations. So you just set your camera to what the conditions are where you are, and your camera will push that color to correct the image. So once blue photo now becomes much more warm and much more realistic to our eye. So if you're in a sunny setting, it's going to look a lot more yellow or orange. So you select sunny and your camera is going to push blue tones into the photo or cool tones. And that is going to correct that color and set the white balance, hence balancing the white color. Real quick, I want to pause and bring you the question of the day, and that's, are you using manual white balance or setting your white balance yourself, or using auto white balance in your camera? And if you're liking this video, go ahead and hit the thumbs up and subscribe to this channel so you can learn more about landscape photography and how you can improve. Now, if you've been playing around with your camera settings a lot, you may have seen a K setting on your camera. That's Kelvin temperature. Kelvin temperature on your cameras is based on you manually setting what color is being pushed into the photo to correct that white balance. This is especially important for night photography if you're doing something like Milky Way or star trails, because there's not a night photo setting on your white balance. So what you can do is set your Kelvin temperature. They usually go from 2500 to 10,000. 2500 are much more cool tones, so those blue tones, and 10,000 are the much more yellow or warm tones. So lower number, more blue, higher number, more yellow. You can balance this out and play around with these settings based on the look you want with your photos. Now you may be saying, why not just set your white balance to auto on your camera and let it select what white balance to use? And look, I've done that in the past too, but sometimes it gets it wrong. So you might want to go ahead and set that in the field so that it is correct. If you do that later on in post-processing, things in the frame may look completely different after you change that color. So what I like to do is just determine what color I want to push within that scene. Let's say it's a nice sunset photo and I want it to look really, really warm. I'm just gonna go ahead and put a shady or cloudy setting on there, and that's gonna make it more warm. Even though it may not look exactly like it did in the field, that's the mood that I want to portray in that image. Or if I'm in a shady situation and I really want it to look blue and moody, I'll go ahead and put sunlight setting on my white balance, even though that's not the condition I want, and that's going to be more blue. So what happens here is now you're creating art rather than white balance because you know what colors are being pushed into the photo. So if you want to do that, you can, or if you want to just stick to the basics, you can set whatever condition it's on and your camera is going to push the color into the photo to balance that setting. Hey, if you like this video, you can go ahead and click this card showing up on your screen right now that's going to take you to more landscape photography tips that are going to help you improve.